Remember, Canada has shed more blood per capita than probably any democracy in the West in pursuit of freedom. Okay? The bravery and courage of the Canadian people can't be questioned.
So I woke up this morning ready to give a recap of the great Canadian First speech that Pierre Poilievre so graciously bestowed upon us. And instead, I saw this interview between Brian Lilley and Steve Bannon. Not only that, but I released a video on Friday that has me very worried in the comments section, and I'm going to talk about this. So guys, please tune in, please watch. This is an important episode. I'm your host Parmesan, and this is Niagara Due North. So Canada, good morning. I'm your host Parmesan. Please like and subscribe the video down below. Before we get into this talk, a very severe and dire warning to Canada as Canada reaches a fork in the road in this 21st century. I watched what I think is a very important interview between Steve Bannon and Brian Lilley. For those of you who don't know, Brian Lilley, journalist of The Sun, goes down to Washington with all the premiers, follows them around to all their meetings, and he talks with politicians. Can't wait till I get to that status. That'll be awesome. He managed to get a sit down with Steve Bannon, and I don't care what anyone has to say about Steve Bannon. Don't give a crap, okay? Controversial figure, he knows what's going on, and he knows what's going on at least a lot more than all of those comments on my Friday video, which are all completely embarrassing, and everybody should be ashamed of themselves. In this interview, Steve mentions that Canada has two options, as its Arctic is completely exposed and ready to be annexed, not by United States, not by Europe, but by China. Okay? We have been far too soft on this issue for far too long, and now Donald Trump has come in and told us to get our act together or we're just going to become United States. And this is all happening while at the same time Donald Trump has banned Europe from peace negotiations. Hang with me, guys, because this all comes together. And due to that, for some reason not foreseen, France is now holding an emergency conference. What could that possibly be? Now, I know I'm going to be alone on this, but look at Trump's first term. Look at the tariffs right now. Did you see J.D. Vance's speech? I'm going to show you just what Bannon said.
He sat where you're seeing today, or I hosted him upstairs, and I just tell him, I said, you should begin a national conversation about this. This is the time that Canada should really talk about the 21st century, and where the comment of the premier of president of China didn't get a lot of play back in 2010. You should revisit that, and that should be a big part of the national discussion. Look, clearly, the Canadian people have to make up their mind about what they want to do and where they want to go and who they want to be affiliated with. But I think that conversation, those discussions and that debate should commence.
It might be having the reverse outcome of what he wanted, because conservative leader Pierre Poilievre was looking like he was going to form the next government. Now anger over this has a Mark Carney-led Liberal government tied or leading, and you could end up with a very left-wing environmental zealot who will win by campaigning against
a very left-wing environmental zealot like the government you've had will only lead Canada more rapidly to the edge of the abyss. Right?
Now, here's what I think. Okay. Trump's not worried about Russia. I don't think Trump's worried about Russia whatsoever. I think Trump has brought America closer to Russia than it ever has been before. I think Trump's biggest threat is China, not Russia. I also think the future is the Arctic, not the Middle East. And I think the ultimate end goal for Donald Trump is to ally with Russia to stop China. from taking over the Arctic. And I think that the Europeans, including Canada, are on China's side. And this is where Canada comes in. This is where our two choices come in. Ally with the US or become the US. My last video concerned me really bad because, first of all, go back and watch it. It was about whether we're going to join EU or become the 51st state. Everybody wanted to join the EU, and that is extremely concerning. And there's a very large number of you guys that don't know what's actually going on out there. Now, we can bicker all day about guns versus healthy food, or what actual free speech is, or what actual hate speech is. But the important issue is that Canada and Europe, are going down a totalitarian road. They know they're going down it, and they're painting it of flowers, rainbows, and gold. Although Trump is dead serious about annexing Canada. Dead serious. He wants it to be free and prosperous, like America. Canada is worth, I think, $17 trillion with all of its minerals and everything. We are not worthless. We are able to stand on our own 2 feet. There is no way we're going to become the 51st state. But in no way are we going to join Europe. Pierre Poilievre is going to come in and he's going to draw us closer to the States. And in doing so, we're going to seize the Arctic. Then there's the other road. We'll hear stories in UK. We'll hear stories in Sweden. Disgusting. Watch the J.D. Vance speech. I'll put it in the description below. It's disgusting what's happening over there. I tell you, friends, Europe is going to lead us to eternal slavery with no way of getting out. Modular homes controlled by the internet, waiting to hear you misspeak so you can be cut off from society as a form of some kind of futuristic jail. Just wait. Just wait until your house locks you inside from a Facebook post, or you have a dissenting thought and you have half of your carbon credits taken away, and then you can't go shopping for food. You see, at that point, it's too late. You won't be getting out of this. And you won't even know that there's free civilizations out there, like America, like China, like Russia. Funny I say free, like China and Russia. That is just how bad this is going to get. You won't even know. You won't even know. Look at Meta's onslaught of AI. Man, they can pump you in a tiny house, put a VR goggle set on your head. You won't even know that you haven't talked to another human being in years. You won't even know, guys. So my message to everyone is to smarten up and wake up. What Europe is doing is not good. And it's aligning itself with China. And what China is doing is not good. And I can't believe all the people gobbling up the orange man bad. How can you guys be so blind? I don't understand it. They hear all of this stuff about corruption in US aid. All of this stuff. And they just keep hating them. They keep wanting Europe. They keep wanting this totalitarianism. What is this? 50,000 girls have gotten raped in the past 10 years and it's all a huge cover-up? You guys really want that? Europe is a very disgusting place right now. There is no beauty in it whatsoever. It is completely taken over by Satanism and Islamists. There's no saving Europe anymore. And right now, Justin Trudeau is over there, bringing us more and more closer to it. Tune in tomorrow, folks. Tune in tomorrow. Because I'm going to cover what J.D. Vance said in Munich to all of your European nations, and that will be a further eye-opener to all of the disgusting crimes that has been going on in Europe that you guys must not have heard about. You guys must not have heard about it. It's time to get out of your echo chamber. It's time to stop. I know almost everybody heard the word Steve Bannon and clicked off the video. Evil. Those people are pure evil. You need to know what your enemy thinks. You need to know what your enemy's saying. You don't just say, that's my enemy, so screw him, I don't want nothing to do with him anymore. That's how you get stabbed in the back. So, if you like my video, guys, please like and subscribe down below. We are in very important times right now. And I am going to cover as much of the wake-up call as I possibly can to help get people over, not to the right side, not to the MAGA side, not to Pierre Poilievre, but to open your eyes to see what has been going on in the world the past 10 years, guys. Thank you very much. I'm your host, Parmesan, and this is Niagara Due North. I'll see you guys tomorrow.